I don't know if it's possible to start this without being massively awkward and just saying,
Well,
hey,
I think we just did it right now. Just add a
we
little, just add
just
a little
did
musical effect, add a few rim shots, like.
solid introduction. Oh, actually, I did want to talk about or like quickly plug Patreon at the beginning. I want to create a few new tiers for the Patreon. If any of you
Okay.
haven't seen the Patreon yet, go check it out. Just patreon.com/standardhumans. We've got a $1 tier. Thanks for helping us out. That's what you get for that one. That's pretty solid though.
That's a solid toss.
Yeah, that is an
I will take
extraordinarily
$1.
solid toss.
I mean, considering I was expecting $0 from doing this,
Yeah,
I'll take $1.
and we're already getting 4, so
Ooh,
we're off to a good start. Yeah. So
for
every
$1 is a lot
$1
of $1.
would count. Yeah. Then there is going to be a $3 tier, which I am thinking is going to be access to an uncut video version of the podcast. Unless we say
Hey,
something really dumb or offensive, then I'll cut it out. But otherwise, I'll just throw it up.
yeah. Please, mostly uncut, unless we're really walking on the edge there.
Then maybe. Or if we like mention
Yeah.
someone's name that we really shouldn't, we'll cut that.
Yeah. If it's cut, then that just means that we revealed where the Declaration of Independence is really hidden.
Yeah, pretty much. We don't want the Secret Service coming after us.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just realized the acronym for Secret Service, that'd be the SS, which is just like them Nazi boys.
No, yeah, I got you. Wow.
Dude, we
live in a society. Yeah. Holy shit, we live in a society.
We
Wow.
really do.
Cool.
Man, they're the same. Anyways, moving on. Then there's
Yes, as you said, moving on.
$5 tier, which is going to be those Q&As when we get to them. We'll see when that happens.
Yeah. Somebody I saw on YouTube actually.
Yeah.
He went to high school with us. He's a few years older.
Oh, sick.
But yeah, he's a somewhat successful YouTube channel, and he did a Q&A, but he has a coin that he would flip. Heads is a complete lie. Tails is the complete truth, and you don't see what was on the coin.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was just approximately half complete lies.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah. It's a good safety net, because then if anybody's like, wait, you said that, you could just be like, it was a lie, my dude.
Complete lie, you fool.
Yeah. What's the worst thing you've ever done? Kill the man. Wait a minute. That was a lie. It was on heads.
You didn't see
don't
the
worry.
coin. Fools.
Yeah. You don't know.
And then above that tier, there will be a $10 tier, the gamer tier, where you will officially be a gamer.
All right.
And then that's what's up with that tier.
And then the $11 tier is gamer girl.
I'm down. I will add that.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.
All right. So yeah, that's the Patreon. I just finished remastering all the old episodes, so they'll be going up there soon. With that, let's move on to this episode. Actually, I did have one piece of follow-up from the last episode.
Aidan. Okay, what?
We talked about Payless for a couple minutes there.
Okay.
You'll be happy to know Payless is bankrupt. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Take that.
Your mom can never force you to buy you shoes there ever again.
That'd be pretty weird if that happened now, but
it'd be extraordinary.
full on 19 years old. Here, I'm gonna buy you shoes from here. I don't want these. I'll just buy other shoes. I'll just buy other shoes with my own money that I actually like. No.
No way. There's a loophole.
I'm buying you shoes. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I mean, the last time that really happened to me was, I guess, like grade 9. Because after that, I just had a job, so I could just buy stuff.
So it's been a while since you've checked. Yeah.
But it was just so ingrained in my brain. I'm like, man, that store.
Fair, yeah. It's a terrible store. Yeah, it's gone.
Sorry if anybody lost a job when it went out of business.
Oof.
But
Yeah. I don't know. I think it happened a while ago.
okay, no worries.
Sometime within the last year or two. I don't know. But
That's not that long ago. Yeah,
yeah,
they're fine.
depends on how you defined long.
They'll be fine. It was
Yeah,
like
probably.
yesterday. Direct result of our podcast. Everyone's like, man, they're right. Shoe less. Shoe less. Pay less.
I mean, I assume the employees were probably fine because I was walking through the mall today, or a mall, and
Yeah.
there was a Payless there at one point. There's just a new shoe store there. The exact same spot.
It's like the
so
exact same shoes. This is shoeless.
honestly, maybe I don't remember. It was some weird acronym. The name.
Pay the same.
Maybe, yeah, it's possible. Let's get on to today's topic.
Okay. This is good that you're talking for this one because I was talking most of the time the last ones, and I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah, no, fair. I mean, it was kind of nice in that my throat didn't hurt at all, but like,
Hey.
I am looking forward to voicing some opinions, upsetting some people tonight with
Wow.
our talk about minimalism. Yeah, that's right, all
Yeah.
you
I mean,
maximalists. Get the fuck out of here.
yeah, well, okay, I was saying, like, will you offend minimalists? Because, like, do they own computers?
Yeah, actually, they usually all have MacBooks. It's the
Well, that's just
stereotypical
confusing.
hipster.
Ah,
Fair,
okay, no, it
yeah.
makes perfect sense now.
Yeah. All the aesthetic minimalists.
Yeah, they're like, how else am I gonna make my cool hip hop lo-fi beats? So yeah, what do you have to say?
Well, first off, I wanted to know, what do you know about minimalism, boy?
So my exposure to the ideas of minimalism that aren't in art are because that's definitely a thing in both music and painting, more painting, I guess. But
just having like less stuff in the
yeah,
music
being
or
like
thing.
simplistic. Yeah.
So like old school video game music.
That was
maybe?
that wasn't minimalist. That was just they had constraints from the technology of the time.
Okay.
So there just wasn't much going on.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't know too much about it. But what I do know about like the one you're talking about, where it's just like as a lifestyle,
Yeah.
the exposure I've had to it was I was once browsing YouTube as you do,
Yeah.
and I saw a video where this like 20-something girl living in my brain it's either Toronto or California, just because
Same
those are the
thing.
two places where yeah. I mean, Toronto is just very United States, but honestly, I couldn't tell you where she lived. But in the video, she was just like, I've adopted this minimalist lifestyle, whatever. She's 20-something, living in an apartment. She like doesn't have like couches or chairs or anything. She just sits on these
Okay.
mats. And she did have a MacBook actually,
Okay.
to do her work. She had a nice apartment and a MacBook, but she didn't have chairs. She just sat on mats.
Interesting.
And I think she slept on a mat as well. She had like
Oh.
3 pairs of clothes, if that.
Okay. Yeah.
And she was a fruitarian.
Yes.
So yeah,
that's where killing the plant is murder, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where you only eat seeds and nuts and fruits and some vegetables that you
Okay.
can get without killing the plant. Like carrots, no. You have to pull the whole plant out and then eat that. That's murder.
That is totally murder. The
Yeah.
carrots are
I would
screaming
say if
away.
there's any fruitarians listening, ignore my tone, but they're probably just dead of malnutrition, so they're not listening. Like that's so specific. Like what could you eat? You could eat fruits
Yeah.
and some nuts
Yeah.
and like peppers. Zucchinis, probably. Zucchinis and cucumbers, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Fruits, some vegetables, some depends. Yeah.
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 Oh God, can you eat potatoes?
Oh, I don't.
I
I
don't think
guess
so.
not. Ooh,
That's
big
horrible.
leaf.
I
Yeah.
love potatoes. Yeah, so that's all the exposure. That's all the exposure I've had to minimalism, and I'm like, wow, that was whack.
Yeah, that's a little extreme right there.
Yeah, extreme in some ways, but not in others. Like she's got a nice uptown apartment and a MacBook, but she just like has a very weird lifestyle.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
you
like,
could never
fair
have
enough.
people over. Like you do your own thing. You do your own thing, obviously. It's just very weird to me because it's basically just like you could never have people over
Could y'all just like
and
sit
like
on the floor? I guess.
you could, I guess, but
I mean, at that point,
like
you might as well just go to a coffee shop or something, or a
yeah,
bar. Yeah,
exactly.
that'd probably be
Because I mean, you'd
better.
have a lot of money left over from not buying anything besides
Yeah.
us paying anything besides rent and fruit. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's an option. But I assume that that's not what you're planning on becoming one day.
I mean, I don't
All the
think.
power to you if you are.
I mean, certain aspects of that sound cool, but nowhere near to that extent. Partly
Yeah.
because I think that's a little bit extreme. Also, partly because I know Jess would think that's way too extreme and would like destroy me if I tried to get rid of all the
Throw,
furniture.
thrown out our bed. Well, actually, no, it'd be so
Yeah.
hard to entertain people because you wouldn't have a table, so you couldn't
Yeah.
make them food. You also couldn't make them food because what can you cook with only
Fruit.
fruits
I,
and
I
you
assume you
could make
could
fried
make
plantains,
something.
I guess.
Probably,
Fried
yeah.
plantains if you use coconut oil.
Yeah.
There you go. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
You you couldn't use a lot of spices. Couldn't use ginger.
Oh, that's true.
Couldn't use garlic or onion.
Yeah, this is an interesting tangent. I'm
It's
tempted to
very
look up recipes for them, but do we want to stay on the
it's very
fruitarian
aesthetic.
tangent? As-
I don't know. It's pretty minimalist.
Yeah, actually.
Well, actually, I wouldn't even say it is because minimalism to me says cutting out all unnecessary things, and foods that aren't fruit, I call somewhat necessary.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely agree with you there. I don't think I'll
Yeah.
ever be a particularly minimalist person in terms of the food. Well,
I would
no,
I
no,
would
I wouldn't go to that
I would
extent.
actually call that 75% asceticism
What's that
or
mean?
asceticism.
Asceticism?
An ascetic is someone who is basically like a monk, but even more extreme.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if they're very prevalent nowadays, but just from reading up on them, they just live a life of like denying themselves like literally everything they can do without dying.
Oh, okay.
Um, basically, from my brief reading on it, seems like you live in the woods with the other ascetics. The little food you have, you beg for, which is standard for a monk.
Yeah.
But you basically try to just fast for literally just as long as you can, like regularly.
Okay.
So you'll go like many days without eating and then have like basically you just have nothing. Like you wear like a loincloth
Hmm.
and like don't really wash yourself or shave your hair or beard or anything. So seems
Okay.
like yeah, that's some minimalism right there. Being an actual ascetic. Literally just not dying.
Yeah. So I think that kind of gets at the root of the problem I have with the word minimalism or using that to describe
Yeah,
what I like to think of it as. Because when you say
yeah,
minimalism, you're completely focusing on having as little as possible. Whereas I think it's more about
yeah.
having enough or having everything that you do own bring like a lot of value.
Okay.
So you can have a lot of stuff as long as that's the right amount for you.
Like if you're like a farmer,
Hmm.
you need a lot of stuff because you need like your tractor and your backhoe and all your stuff like that,
Yeah.
because you have a lot of stuff you need to do, and it all serves a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Or a
Mm.
minimalist YouTuber that I follow a lot, Matt D'Avella. He's actually pretty sick, makes good videos on like a lot of intentional
Hmm.
living stuff. He's fairly minimalist. He only has like one t-shirt that he wears. I mean, he has like 14 of them, but it's just the one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like same outfit all the time. Doesn't
That's
own
well,
much stuff at
that's
all. But he
what's the point
does.
of wearing the same T-shirt all the time?
I think there's a couple of different things, like having the uniform you wear every day. Like it minimizes the complexity. It's one less thing to decide every day. It just keeps everything simple. I think he just kind of
That's some
likes it
Steve
too.
Jobs shit.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wear almost the same thing every day, but I just feel like in my workplace, people would think I was perhaps not washing if I wore the same thing every day, or
Yeah,
just that it
this is
was
possible.
super weird. Yeah, but it looks like he's like an independent film creator, so
He
like
is, yeah. So
everybody who works with him would know what he's about. So
they do, yeah. So he has a lot more
yeah,
liberties than other people have for sure. But what I wanted
yeah,
to say was he is very minimalist in a lot of areas. One where he's not necessarily is filmmaking equipment. The man has stupid amounts of filmmaking equipment, like camera stuff, tripods, like dozens of the
yeah.
things. Like, but that's because that's what he gets value from. That's also how he makes a living, is using that stuff.
Well, that actually reminds me of the Amish,
Oh yeah,
the one you say like that, because again, from minimal reading in some books,
yeah,
it seems like some Amish sects are totally cool with using some amount of technology,
yeah. They are, yeah.
like telephones and stuff like that, if it's for work.
Oh, okay.
Like if you have like if you, for whatever reason, let's say you make furniture, and not the contractor, like the store who sells it, you need to call them to sell it, then, or like when you have a new shipment so they can come get it, then that's like supposedly not against their religion, because like you're not using it for your own pleasure in your personal life, you're just using it to do your job.
Well, I
So it's not
have,
really like seeping into your character, I guess.
yeah, I have read a little bit about them as well. Just in the book I'm actually partway through right now called Digital Minimalism, which is a nice coincidence
Huh.
here. He said
That's
that
some Zoomer shit.
Zoomer? What?
Yeah, Gen Z.
Oh, fair enough.
Zoomers.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, what's even more cringy is he refers to the generation as iGen, the author of the
Yeah.
Digital
That's a
Minimalism book.
thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing. What is that? iGen. That is a thing already.
Yeah. People, it's either Gen Z or iGen. Yeah. I don't know what people are going to
Huh.
end up on. iGen
Yeah.
does sound very fitting, though.
I thought that was like a technology, not from Apple, but something called iGen. I don't know.
Oh, probably. I don't know.
Probably get sued by Apple.
Quite possibly. Yeah. I mean, Apple's kind of ditching
Yeah.
the I terminology or
Oh
prefix.
yeah?
Yeah.
What are they going with instead?
Just saying Apple, like the Apple Pencil, Apple TV,
Oh
stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. Well, that because some of that would sound so stupid.
Also,
The
other companies
iPencil.
were just purposely going and trademarking or whatever the term is. The like iWatch, I think someone trademarked that and was keeping Apple from naming it that. So they just went with Apple Watch instead because it was too much hassle and money to deal with them.
Yeah, makes
Anyways,
sense.
oh yeah, I was talking about the Amish, right? Oh man,
Yeah.
I feel already so off track. All right. But yeah,
Back on the Amish.
they're kind of interesting. They are very minimalist in that they really think hard about every piece of technology before introducing it into their society. Like they will actually go through and test whenever a new technology comes along. They'll get one member of their society to test it for like I think it's a couple weeks or months or something, and see what the effects are on them. So some of the rules they have are things like you can't own a car, because when cars first came out, they noticed that people would spend less time just in their community with their neighbors or browsing local stores, because they'd get in their car and they'd drive off somewhere else for the day. So you can't own a car. It's completely fine to ride in a car. Like if someone else owns a car and you get picked up, that's fine.
Yeah.
Or same
For
idea with
instance,
the
like yeah,
phone.
if like a person you work with is like, let me drive you to this place we're going for work, then you wouldn't be like, no.
Yeah, it's my understanding that's completely cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Or they'll often
Um.
have a phone, but it's just one or two community phones because it's a really useful
Yeah.
thing to have.
Yeah.
But it,
What lucky do you think got to try out porn when it first came out? Just like, okay, let's see if this is worth introducing into our community. Steve, get on it. Check it out.
check it out.
Report back in a month.
I need more time. I'm not sure about it yet. You know, I think I could find some real benefits from this if you just give me a little more time.
Yeah. Has to have happened. No, it doesn't. Definitely didn't happen. But still,
Probably, I very much doubt that. Yeah, I mean, maybe,
guarantee it
but I
didn't happen.
Very, very doubt that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's
Anyways.
not much beyond the surface there.
Yeah, no, probably not. But yeah, the way I did want to start talking about minimalism is through a different book that I read. Of course, all these books will have links in the show notes, so you can go check them out.
Cited in APA format.
It won't be, it'll just be a link. The other book is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It's by Marie Kondo.
Is that by Marie Kondo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Well,
the
I was
show?
actually thinking a lot of what you're saying. No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I've seen the memes.
Okay.
And a lot of what you're saying sounds like Marie Kondo. Or did you say Marie Kondo?
Mary? I think it's Mary? Mary?
Marie.
Yeah, I don't think it's Mary. That doesn't sound
Okay.
Japanese. I think it's Marie.
Okay, Marie Kondo. Yeah, it sounds very much like her whole deal.
It very much
which
is, yeah.
Pretty good. Just like don't keep a bunch of shit around.
Yeah. Do you know much about like the Marie Kondo method or any of that stuff?
I think I just Googled it. It's like just go through all your stuff and be like, hey, does this bring me joy or whatever? Like, do I need this? And most stuff you'll be like, nah.
Yeah, so that's I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. It's that the way she does it is that she organizes your stuff into categories. Like one of them will be clothes. So you take all the clothes in your house that you own, all of them that you own, and you put them into one big pile, and then you go through them one by one and you ask, does this item spark joy? And if it does, then you keep it. If it doesn't, you get rid of it.
That's pretty good. I would do that if I had time in my day. Like I literally am like when I have a weekend where I'm not out of town, I'm gonna get rid of like 70% of my closet, just because I haven't gotten rid of. Well, I actually have gotten rid of a lot of clothes, but I just get given a lot of clothes, I guess, for like Christmas and birthdays and stuff. Because I'm I never ask for anything, so I just get a bunch of books which I do want and clothes which I don't really want.
Fair enough.
So it's not that bad. But I keep meaning to get rid of them, but I'm just like whenever this is the only semester I've been in town for like a year.
Yeah.
And I'm so busy, and I've been out of town every single weekend, so I'm like,
jeez,
when do I do this?
Busy man.
I also just working far away, so
yeah, no, your commute is terrible.
That's but hey, new train. Hey, it's not any quicker, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
because I like trains.
Glad Ottawa finally figured that out. How to do a good train.
That I like trains, yeah.
Yeah, trains are good.
It's pretty standard train, to be honest. Very much reminded me of the one in Korea.
Yeah.
Because just a light rail. It's, pretty normal.
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
But anyway, you were saying back on Marie Kondo.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing I like about that method of doing it is that it really focuses not on trying to have as little stuff as possible, but on making you focus on and really appreciate the stuff that you do have. So it's a much more
Yeah.
positive experience than the typical minimalist experience of trying to get rid of as much of stuff as possible. Because when you look at your closet and you're like, okay, what do I want to get rid of? That's kind of like depressing because you're like, oh, but maybe I'll need it, but maybe I won't. I don't
Oh,
know.
that actually, that's not how my brain. I think I'm a bit unusual, but that's not how my brain works at all.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not like I've often gotten in a situation where I've just gotten rid of stuff that I actually somewhat did need. So I'm just like, oh shit. Um,
Mhm.
but nah, I just don't like having a lot of stuff. So I'll often just like try
Fair
to get rid
enough.
of as much as possible. Um, so.
But yeah,
But that totally makes sense. Like, because then if you're like, "Ooh, I have to get rid of all my things," no, you don't. If
yeah,
you
you
legitimately
can.
like, it's not going to make you feel guilty about keeping the stuff you do have.
Yeah, exactly. And most people always start off with this massive pile of stuff, like a huge heap of clothes or books or whatnot. And then they realize, wow, I
Mhm.
have way too much of this stuff because it's often spread out throughout their house. So you never truly see it
Yeah.
all at once. So,
Mhm.
like when you do, and then you start going through it, you realize you still have a lot. Probably, maybe. It'll depend on you how much sparks joy. But yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
nice.
None of it. I hate it all.
But yeah, I find that it's generally a good introduction to the thing because, like you said earlier, minimalism, it's generally seen as a lifestyle by a lot of people. This doesn't touch on the
Yeah.
lifestyle or like the mental habits or lifestyle changes that people make for minimalism at all. This is purely very practical, cleaning up your house kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
is a really good introduction to the whole mindset of getting rid of stuff in your life that doesn't spark joy, that doesn't bring you value.
If if you look into this Marie Kondo, is she like any sort of a lifestyle proponent? Like, she doesn't seem to do it on the show, but
Um,
like in like a book she's written or anything.
I don't know that she's
Or is
written
she?
anything else. I mean, there are other like spin-offs from uh, the life-changing magic of tidying up. Like she made a manga for it, which is all right.
I feel like that would be a lot easier to read. Because I
Yeah,
probably wouldn't want to read an entire novel about tidying your house. But
yeah. I'd say that manga it definitely gets across the core message, and it has a few good tips. It's not like the in-depth
yeah,
guidebook to cleaning up a house that the other one is, which is the kind of shit that I just enjoy for some reason. But the
yeah,
manga, it's a lot more approachable. Yeah, it's good stuff.
to fellow weebs like me.
Yeah, exactly. I figured you'd like that.
Yeah,
You'd be into that.
yeah. That's the best kind of manga about Marie Kondo cleaning a house.
But yeah, she doesn't specifically say anything about lifestyle, though she does hint at it a little bit. She says that a lot of her clients, because she does this for a living, just going and tidying people's house with them, a lot of her clients experience some big life changes after she does it, just
Huh?
because they start to apply the principles to their life as well. Like if a job or a relationship isn't really bringing them value or sparking joy, as she puts it, they'll start to get rid of that as well.
Yeah, that's something I think I'm pretty okay with like jobs or relationships not keeping them if they're not happy. If you're not happy, except when they're in a definite timeline, like if it's like a co-op term, and
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I don't like it, but I'm like, it's 4 months. I'll just do it. Like
Yeah.
how does that fall on the rules if it's for a finite period of time and it does have benefits to finishing it, even if you don't like it?
Well, I mean, there are no rules because she doesn't talk about that at all. Um,
Uh,
so this would just be me making it up off the top of my head right now. But
okay, 100% from the book right here. Let's hear it.
I think from the book, it's just a no comment. Yeah, she actually just doesn't touch on the lifestyle at all. Just hints. Like, hey,
Yeah.
people
No,
sometimes
but
change their
what
lives.
were you speculating? What were you speculating?
Um, I mean, 4 months is a long time, but it's also not. I'd say just
Like it
try and make sure you don't do that kind of shit again.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's like it's like in university. It's exactly like actually if you're like you you have a course that you don't like, but it's necessary to finish your degree, and you like the rest of your courses in your degree, but you just don't like this one course,
Yeah.
it would be in your best interest to just do it anyway.
Yeah, to get that one done. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of like I don't really know any options, but but like that's yeah, it's something where it's like in your best interest, even if it's something that you don't really want to do. Sometimes you just have to do it.
Yeah, to get that one done, and then if the rest of it's
Yeah.
good, then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if it's like a finite period of time, but if it's like you're in a program that you've never enjoyed, and then it's exactly like the job that you'd be getting after that you wouldn't enjoy, then that would make zero sense. That would not
Yeah,
be something that.
you should get out now.
Yeah,
Start working on something else.
start cleaning houses.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, it seemed to work for her. She's making bank now, I think. She's already doing well just with her business, like just
Yeah.
cleaning people's houses. Now that she's writing books and making Netflix series, like
What is she? Like, what's her title? Like a cleaning therapist? Like,
I think it's
is her
something consultant or something like that.
that would make
Tidying
sense.
consultant or something like that. Yeah. I'm going to go with tidying consultant. That sounds close enough.
But before she was famous, it must have been so hard to explain her job to people. It's like, so what do you do? So people hire me to help them clean their house. Oh, so you're like a maid? No, no, they're like there and they clean it themselves, but I just tell them how. Wait, what?
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird concept. Though she
No,
does
but
have
I
a
mean,
yeah.
when you see it in action, it makes perfect sense.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like it's almost like hiring like a dog trainer, almost except you're just it's forming your own habits instead of like a dog's habits.
Yeah, kind of,
Like
yeah.
hiring a U trainer.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Cuz she
Yeah.
does have a guarantee that if you properly go through the method, especially if she's there, you're not going to relapse and have a bunch of shit just appear again
Yeah.
because she's set up such great systems to keep it out.
Yeah. The question I have is what do you do with all the shit you get rid of? Do you like donate it or
That was mostly what I did. Yeah, just donated it because I
okay.
didn't want the friction of having to go and sell stuff. That would have just I would have
Yeah.
continued putting that off. Too much social anxiety right there.
Yeah. Also I feel like a lot of stuff would be like you're like
Yeah.
$2 on eBay. You're like, hey,
My
it's a bit.
recommendation, if you have a lot of stuff, I read about this in another book actually. Just dropping books left and right here. I've been reading a lot. It's been
Oh
fun.
yeah. So
Uh,
guys, I read.
yeah, not to flex on y'all, but I'm wearing glasses right now, and I
That
read
means you're
books.
real smart.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So the other book is "Own Your Weird" by Jason Zook. Is a solid read.
Zo-
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's tempting on side tangents, but
And
I'm gonna stay on topic. Anyways, he had a little bit of a talk on minimalism, and his wife had to get rid of like a lot of clothing because they were just getting rid of a lot of stuff. And she was like, I
huh.
really don't want to list like these hundreds of pieces of clothing and sell them all individually. And he was like, why don't you just sell them all at once? And she sold them to someone for like $500.
Just a
Just
f***ing lot of clothes.
yeah,
Just like
exactly.
that's what you call it. Just like a bunch of clothes. Just you need some, you need a bunch of clothes, here's a bunch of clothes.
Yeah. And someone actually went and bought it for like $500.
Maybe they work for like a theater company or something. That would make sense.
Ooh, that actually would. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Or they're just weird or have too much money and desire trash.
Possibly. Some people
Cause
just
like
like clothes. I don't know.
yeah. Cause like I obviously go to Value Village and buy my clothes there all the time. But like a f***ing just horde of clothes from somebody that you don't even know what they really look like. That's like I guess you
Yeah.
should put pictures of them all, but like that doesn't seem very appealing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then
No.
again, I also do not enjoy buying clothes. So
I kind of do. nowadays, because I'm a lot more picky with my clothes, so I'm actually
Uh,
like them for the most part. For the
you
most part,
wearing
some of
jeans
them.
now?
I am not. I actually don't own a pair of jeans.
I remember that. Oh, I remember that about you when you were like in middle school. You were like, jeans, f- 'em. No jeans here. And
Really?
then, yeah.
I
Well,
mean, pants in
you weren't.
general, yes, I wore shorts, but
Yeah. Like you weren't like adamant about it, but you were just like, I don't own a pair of jeans and I do not like them. And I'm like, oh,
really, that's interesting.
have
But
you
now
ever
I've
owned
gone back.
jeans?
Yes, actually, throughout high school, I owned jeans.
Uh,
I think.
yeah, I remember that was the thing you had in like middle school.
Huh. I didn't know that. Okay.
Hmm.
Honestly, they're just not as good as chinos. Like,
See, I've discovered recently
yeah.
because I have to do like business clothes each day.
Yeah.
Golf clothes.
Oh, yeah.
They look like they look like business clothes, but they're so comfortable. Like
Oh, okay.
freaking look at this.
Ooh, sick.
So good, but it just looks like regular dress pants.
I've been seeing those at Uniqlo. I've been tempted to get a pair, but
Yeah, they're so good. Golf clothes they look
hmm,
like I can get away with wearing them in the office,
yeah.
but they feel like I'm wearing workout clothes.
Oh, that's pretty sick. Yeah.
10 out of 10. Would recommend. Don't get don't get don't tuck in your golf shirts unless they're really large.
Okay.
Otherwise you look like a dad. But
Like a
other than
polo?
that, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Or
if it's like it only is like if it's a t-shirt with only 3 buttons
oh, yeah.
from the collar,
So a
don't
polo.
tuck it in. Yeah, don't tuck in a polo unless either you are actually golfing or it's like very large, like sort of like
Well, there are
that
dress
like
polos, which are just really
yeah,
long, like dress shirt length. Those you
yeah,
should tuck in.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I've seen a style now that's like sort of. I feel like it's coming back from like the '90s, but where you wear really big polos and then just tuck them into your pants, or just like big T-shirts and then tuck them into your pants.
It's so weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, some people can pull it off for sure.
Sure.
I
I don't
probably
know.
couldn't, but
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna stick to properly fitting clothes.
yeah, yeah,
I think
that
that's
me too.
better.
That's the
Yeah.
easiest to do.
Yeah, it's a solid
But
choice.
except for my one shirt that I have from Milan, that was the only thing I bought in Milan because I needed to buy something. So I went to H&M and bought an extra large graffiti looking button-up shirt,
Okay.
and that is very big, but you have to tuck it in, so I kind of look like an e-boy.
Yeah,
But
that's
whatever.
odd. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting
The
choice.
hell were we talking about?
That's exactly what I was wondering. Where were we? Um I think we were on Marie Kondo.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know we were, but
But then we went somewhere.
I don't know. Our brains just move too fast.
All right. Let's just move on from that topic then. I was going to talk about some of the benefits, I guess, that people generally find from minimalism.
Mm,
So, we actually touched on one of the big ones earlier is that a lot of people use it as a way to save some money. Like
yeah,
if you don't buy a lot of things, you can afford to buy nicer things and still spend less money, which is sick.
yeah. Because, well, I mean, as an extreme example,
Yeah,
if you only eat fruit and don't have any furniture, then you can afford the nicest MacBook you could ever want.
this is true. Yeah.
And probably all organic fruit too.
Yeah, almost definitely. Yeah.
At least I hope so. That would probably definitely matter if it's organic or not, if it's 100% of your diet.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Organic isn't really regulated, right? That term. So, does it really matter?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really.
I can't tell if that's a ripoff or
Depends.
not. Yeah.
I see people like always talking about the health benefits and stuff, but the main thing that appeals to me is that it doesn't scorch your farmland. Because if you use too much fertilizer on a farmland, then you scorch it, you over nutrify it. So you can't grow stuff on it for at least a few seasons. You need to let the soil like sort of regulate again. But
Oh,
if it's organic, then you don't scorch the soil, so you're not destroying farmland soil. that is actually a problem that's happening in the world.
So wait, regular fruits and vegetables just destroy the soil?
It's not the
How
fruits and
does?
vegetables.
Yeah.
It's the fertilizers they use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Huh.
organic fertilizers don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So wait, does organic actually mean something then?
in farming, it definitely makes a difference.
Okay.
It's
But
a
like,
very different farming practice, like in terms of like what you use in
okay.
your crops.
Does that
But
translate to the actual organic like stickers on products? Do you
I
know?
hope so, because I
Yeah.
have heard also that it's very loosely or not regulated for like many products what can be called organic.
Yeah.
I assume if it's like organic fruit that it's at least a little regulated because that's really easy to tell. It's like, okay, were these grown organically? Yes or no. But if it's like a granola bar, it's probably pretty difficult because it's like because I see like organic agave syrup or something, and it's like, okay, were the agaves that made the syrup that went into this bar along with all the other ingredients grown organically? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
don't know. I had an organic energy drink the other day. Someone was just handing them out on the street. It
hmm.
tasted all right. I don't know.
Was surprised it wasn't poison, to be honest.
No,
Well,
that stuff just happens downtown.
yeah,
You expect
exactly.
that.
That's why I would think it was poison. If I was leaving the Eaton Center and somebody's like, "Hey, man, you want a drink?" I'd be like, "No."
I mean, like, fair enough. She was very obviously some kind of employee of the company. She had like hundreds of the cans.
It's just an elaborate murder plan.
Maybe, yeah.
The only thing, the only food I've eaten where like the farming practice has actually changed the taste, not just the size and look, but like the actual taste, um, is eggs.
Oh
I
yeah.
find free range eggs, like and where the chickens are fed good food. The yolk looks different, like the yolk's more
Hmm.
orange, and
Interesting.
it tastes a little different.
Huh.
Um, so
That's
those I
neat.
actually will sometimes buy
Okay.
because you can actually tell. But and like organic fruits and vegetables, I'll buy it sometimes just again because it's good farming practices.
Hmm.
It's like more sustainable farming practices.
Okay.
Um, but I'm not too concerned about non-organic fruits and vegetables killing me.
Yeah, should be fine.
Just wash them.
Fair. Yeah, that's generally a good idea.
One side note to just washing your things.
Yeah.
Here's a poll. Do you wash meat before you cook it?
I can't remember the last time I've cooked meat, but
Okay. Because like I cook meat a lot. Like I'll just buy like sometimes like a whole chicken and just like break it up and cook it.
okay, sure.
Um, and I was just talking about cooking with somebody in in the biology undergrad society,
Yeah.
and they somehow one of us somehow brought it up that that person washes their raw meat before they
Oh.
cook it, like as if you would fruits and vegetables.
Huh.
Like if they have like a chicken breast, they'll like run it under water before they cook it.
Huh.
And then I thought that this person was just like had a very weird practice. So
Yeah.
there were maybe like 15 people in there ish, and I was like, okay, who here washes meat before they cook it? And like maybe 5 people were like, yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's so weird. Why?
Interesting.
Because fruits and vegetables grow in the dirt.
Yeah.
So like potatoes like grow in the actual dirt. So you need to like wash them. But
Well,
meat, unless you're buying a whole chicken with the skin and feathers still on, like because you don't need to because all the only thing on it is bacteria, which you just cook off anyway. So
I mean, presumably a lot of the like contaminants or whatnot are just from shipping. I think that's probably a big fear before it gets packaged.
yeah, but I mean, you're cooking it enough anyway to
Yeah. That
kill
it should get rid
all
of
the
it.
harmful bacteria that would be on it.
I mean, does it hurt to wash it? No.
Um, it will. I mean, if I was to wash my steak, I think it would just make it worse because it would. mess with the cooking process. I would steam it instead of cook it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just find that so odd because I'm like, what's the need? You don't
I
have
don't know.
dirt on it,
It's a
and
good
there's
question.
definitely bacteria, but that's the reason you cook it. I don't know. It was just so astounding to me. I'm like, that's such an odd practice. I don't get it, and it's not like that rare.
Yeah, I don't know. If you, listener, wash meat, let us know. Or if you don't.
Please do.
Yeah. Contact
Um,
Evan. He'll want to know.
yeah.
So yeah, I was talking about the benefits of doing minimalism.
Yes.
So yeah, you save money, you appreciate the stuff you have. I mean, I think those are kind of the big ones. Also, I guess it keeps your life more simple, like with Matt Diavella and the clothing, only wearing the one thing.
Hmm.
That's kind of goals right there. I just don't
Yeah.
get the value out of having different clothing.
Yeah. I mean, but he still has different clothing.
Yeah, he does have some other stuff. Like
Like,
I
but like
actually,
he has like multiples of the same shirt, so he still has like multiple clothes,
oh yeah,
you
100%.
know?
Don't just wear the same thing every day. That's kind of gross.
Yeah. But like what's the difference between having like 5 copies of the same shirt and just having 5 shirts?
I think it's just the fact that it doesn't matter what you grab or what you choose. It will
Huh.
always work. It will always go with everything because you've already planned out
Huh.
this one perfect outfit and you're just going to wear it every day. You don't ever have to decide other than like if you're going to throw on a sweater or not.
I mean, you could just, I don't know, get just like only neutral colored clothing because then that would still work.
I mean, that's basically what I've done so far. It's just in the wardrobe
Yeah.
purging kept like mainly just blue and white colored shirts. That's the
Hmm.
brunt of my wardrobe at the moment.
Interesting.
Yeah, just because
Hmm.
those are a good time.
Do you own any pants?
No, actually. Why do you ask?
Oh, okay, cool.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, the viewers don't know.
yeah, they'll never know.
Even from here, I can't even tell.
Yeah, exactly. You all you know is I have a shirt on. Who knows what
Yeah.
else is there?
All I know is you have a shirt on, you have an R2D2 pillow.
Good stuff. That's the good stuff. Yeah, no, I
Hmm.
have pared down pants as well. Got like 2 winter pants and 2 summer pants.
It's pretty decent.
And yeah, those work.
That's yeah. It's I quite like that sort of idea of not having so much because I see, but like in every facet of life, like including your technology and your house and your car and everything like that. Because I
Yeah.
see so much of Western civilization now is people are just hyping up being rich and having a lavish lifestyle just for the sake of being rich and having a lavish lifestyle. Um,
Yeah.
like people are like, oh, I wish that I could just live in a giant, massive house and drive a super fancy car for no reason other than just to have those things and like wear like Gucci and stuff
Yeah.
just because you want to. And I'm like what's the purpose of that? You can like they like I think like people get those things to make themselves free of the want for it, like, oh, I
Right.
wish I did, like, if I won't want this anymore if I have it. But you could also just work on not wanting it anymore, and then you would feel just as free, but you would not have silly things.
I disagree with you there. You would feel significantly more free if you stopped wanting it than if you
Yeah,
got the thing because wanting something, getting it doesn't actually fix that, not long term, because you'll just find another thing and then just start wanting
yeah,
that. So you're always going to be wanting
yeah,
another thing. It's never going to be
yeah.
good enough.
That's something I've sort of I thought of it like when I was like way younger, because I
Okay.
just see all these people like, oh, I want this fancy phone or this fancy computer or these clothes or something.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, you can tell that even when they get these things, like pretty soon they want the next one and whatever. And that seemed like a pretty pointless cycle. So now I just try to like when I think I want something, just think if it's like why, and if it's like, for instance, oh, I want to buy one thing I want to buy now is I want to buy a record player
Mm-hmm.
and some records because I've been listening to so many good albums lately.
Yeah.
Holy, it's pretty great doing a job where you don't have to talk to anybody and sometimes. But
Sick. Okay.
yeah, but so I want a record player with some records. I'm like, why do I want that? Is it something that I'll just like want the new thing, like a new like stereo or something? But I just came to the conclusion that it's because I want to, one, just like be more connected to the music because you have a physical copy, and two, make it easier to share with people who I want to share it with. Like they can just come over to my house and we can just listen to records.
Okay, I was gonna
Um,
say, like, how is that easy to share? Who the hell else owns a record player? You can't just give
easier
people
easier to share.
records.
Yeah, easier to share meaningfully. I mean,
Okay, yeah,
because like
you get a good
it
experience
sounds
out of it.
shitty if you just like play it from your phone, but playing it from a record player sounds good. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's not just like chasing the next best thing. It's just like fulfilling a service that you would like done.
I mean, I agree with your overall point, but there is no way
Yeah.
that a record player sounds as good as like a proper pair of speakers.
It depends. It
Off
honestly
of your
depends
phone,
on.
yeah, 100%. That's often shit, but like
Yeah.
speakers though, good ones, nice subwoofer.
Yeah. Well, it really depends on when the album was made,
Oh
because
yeah,
stuff that was made for vinyl actually does sound different on vinyl than
interesting.
it does. Like if you're really paying attention, like it's obviously like you won't be like, whoa, there's a whole bass line in here that I never
Dude, there's a
noticed.
whole nother vocalist in there.
Yeah, I never heard him. Wow, he's so quiet. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never like anything that different, but it just like the mix is like, well, it's just slightly different because it's actually like the record player. It's different than a CD. Like a CD is the same as like just an MP3 file. It's just like
Yeah.
a file that's stored on there. But
Yeah.
a record player, the music is actually like in the grooves. Like it's
Yeah.
not like reading it and then transmitting it to like something is reading it. It's literally just in the grooves and it's like amplifying the sound. So that's why I find it so interesting.
Yeah, no, I definitely
So
agree that like an analog thing or activity is definitely better than digital just for hanging out with people.
and also just imagine just like playing a Tom Waits album while drinking whiskey on the rocks. You'd be the most sophisticated man to ever live.
I'm gonna take your word for that. I don't know. Sure.
Yeah. That would be an enjoyable night in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed being able to completely derail whatever we were talking about. I do not remember.
I think we were on benefits of minimalism still. Oh man,
Okay, keep her going.
have you seen the tiny house or van life people?
Oh, I've seen vans. Like
Yeah.
one thing I found super cool was this Major League Baseball player who was actually quite good and highly paid
Yeah.
in the United States and like Florida.
Huh.
It would have to be someplace warm because you wouldn't want
Yeah.
to actually put your life in danger. But he there were two people. There were him. He's a pro baseball player. I don't know if he still does, but at one point for an extended period of time, just because he wanted to, he just only lived in his van and just
Interesting.
showered at the ball field because obviously he can get in there anytime.
Yeah.
And he did like chin ups at just like a park by a Walmart and just like worked out outside and stuff. And
Yeah.
I thought it was so fucking cool.
That is.
And then another one is the climber Alex Honnold.
Yeah, sure.
You heard of him?
No, I have not.
Oh, he's a pretty interesting kind of weird dude.
Okay.
He's just a really good free climber. So that means he rock climbs with no harnesses and not
Oh.
clipped into anything.
Okay. Cool.
So that's why he's kind of a weird dude because it's like,
Yeah,
hey, what
that's
if you die?
oh well.
Yeah. Yeah. But he again at one point I'm not sure if he still does, but for an extended period of time lived in a van
Hmm.
because he just like his he was a professional free climber. Um and so he was always traveling around to go to different climbing walls and like climbed outdoors obviously, so like different like mountains and whatever.
Yeah.
So he was just like traveling more than half the time. So he's like, I'll just live in a van.
Fair enough,
Makes
actually.
sense.
Yeah, that does.
Mm. Or I guess yeah, it's same if you're like a touring musician.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
like may as well just like live on a bus and not own a house. Hmm.
Yeah, no, so those are definitely some cool examples of people who it's definitely more advantageous to live in the van. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people,
Well,
yeah.
the pro athlete, it wasn't like I guess he was traveling around a decent amount during the regular season, but like I think he just kind of did it because he wanted to.
Yeah, I assume he'd still like fly other places because why would you
Yeah, yeah,
drive?
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but that does kind of make sense in that he can essentially only focus on the baseball. He doesn't have to worry about a house or any of the expenses or living expenses or whatnot. He can just be there and focus on that one thing that he's doing that I assume he
Yeah.
loves,
Hopefully.
which is cool. Yeah. Presumably. I have no idea.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do it because they just can't afford to not do it. But
They're just
some
like
people,
kind of homeless.
yeah, or it makes a lot more sense to do it. Like some people, they
Oh
make some
yeah.
pretty sick setups, like turning their vans into like building beds and little kitchens and whatnot inside
Hmm.
them. Like some of them are pretty sweet, but it is like to
That's
try and
something I
get
could
ahead.
totally do.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like that'd be freaking rad. Holy, actually, I just had a thought.
Yeah.
I was like, well, how much would it cost to rent a shitty van, right?
Yeah.
Probably like, or not to rent,
To
to buy
buy. Yeah.
a shitty van. Probably going for like a couple thousand,
Probably. Yeah.
2,000, 3,000, right? And then that's about 1 to 1.5 semesters rent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, during university, that would actually be kind of a prime time to live in a van because you study on campus all the time
Yeah.
and you have
Ooh, you get access
all
to
the
the gym.
facilities there.
Yeah. You can
Yeah, they have
shower there.
showers and stuff at the gym.
Yeah.
There's laundromats just in town.
Yeah.
Like what else? What else would you need? You know,
Food.
like you can just buy food and then like
Yeah.
you can get like one of those like Winnebagos or whatever
Yeah.
that have like the little kitchenette, so you could still like
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
cook up some beans.
Yeah. Got one of those little stovetop plug-in things.
Yeah, yeah,
Hot
Bunsen burner.
plates. Yeah, Bunsen burner, sure.
No, it is. Yeah, it's a hot plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that would actually. I only have my place for this one semester. Luckily, for the next semester,
Yeah.
so I might actually just like hardcore consider that because
Yeah.
everybody I know already thinks I'm f***ing really weird, so it wouldn't really make a difference.
You might as well, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then holy, that would actually make traveling so much easier.
Yeah, you could just drive off places whenever.
Yeah.
Move your home there.
Hmm. Be rent free,
Yeah.
and then eventually be in the profit because like not profit, but you're gaining way more money because
And you never know.
you're
A lot
not
of people
paying
make
rent.
money online just documenting their experience doing that. So you could actually profit from it. Doing something really weird.
Nah. That's a lot of effort.
Fair, that is actually.
Yeah. But the only thing is I would need to find a place where you could reliably park. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, I know a place already.
Isn't that every like Walmart parking lot? People
Yeah,
just
but I would
park
rather
RVs.
not
Yeah, fair.
there.
You want something a little bit more private, probably.
Yeah, Walmart's where poor people go. I would only be minorly homeless, not poor.
You'd be entirely homeless.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it would be. That's true. But
Not poor, but
willingly, so
homeless.
that's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool if it's intentional.
Intentional homelessness.
If it's
Nice.
intentional, then you're just like a cool hipster and not just a homeless guy.
Yeah.
Because one's super cool and rad, and one's disgusting. Ew.
Seriously.
um. Yeah, I would totally. I'm actually just that's very much in my brain right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You should try it.
If in about a year's time these are being recorded from a van, then you'll know why.
Yeah, I'll have to find some kind of podcast studio near you, or you could just head over
Nah,
here.
just in the van.
Yeah,
Also, yeah, I could head over there too. That would be
yeah,
pretty easy.
that'd be very possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like most people I know are just kind of like waiting for me to do some weird shit like that. They're just like, yeah, kind of expecting it, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, that wouldn't be totally out of the ordinary.
Yeah, like if it be, oh, what's Evan up to
Would
now? He's
fit.
living in a van. Oh, okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is charging electronics. Like you could do it in the van, but how much battery would it take?
Ooh, yeah. You don't want to kill your battery.
Oh,
I
wait,
mean,
no, easy.
oh, you just charge it
Just
in class.
yeah, the power banks. Just get like
Yeah, that's
5
true.
power banks, and then just charge them during class or just when you're on campus.
You can get like some massive ones with actual like AC power outlets on them.
Ooh.
I think those are
Yeah,
like
just charge that just
$100,
on
but
campus
yeah,
sometime because they
yeah, that
charge
would work.
quick. So
I mean, that one would probably take a while
or
because it'd
just
be like 30,000 milliamps or whatever it is, or
charge it
40.
from
I don't know.
get one of those those flashlights that you just do like charge.
It would never charge.
That's how you charge like your computer. You're just like it takes like 20 hours.
Jesus, yeah, that would be. It's too long.
Do you know another weird thing I've been considering,
Yeah.
like sort of, for my work commute
Yeah.
is I'm like, oh, it would actually be quickest and most ideal if I could bicycle from here to work and back. But that would
Yeah.
be 3 hours of bicycling a day, and doing two, I was already like wearing my body down. Like I was like so exhausted in the evenings and like felt like weird.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot.
because I was doing 2 hours of bicycling a day, and then also sometimes working out in the evening, and that like with friends, or with
Jeez.
one friend specifically, and then also just doing full day of work.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's my body's like, can you f***ing relax?
Fair.
But something I've been considering is I actually got this from a homeless dude downtown, this idea,
Yeah.
because I see him doing it a lot. It's one of those bicycle motors where it brings you slightly faster than full tilt bicycling, and it
Okay.
charges when you just turn it off and you pedal. That just charges it.
Okay.
So I was like, that would be the fastest way and the easiest way. And it's like
Yeah.
you can get some relatively cheap ones. You can get like $1,000 online,
Okay.
which is okay for like what it is. But I'm thinking like, how hard could that be to make? Because that would just be the ideal way so far.
Yeah, probably.
Because then you could still just have a regular bicycle. You don't need to buy a whole moped.
Yeah, no.
So
That'd be much better.
that would be cool. Just taking trails for like an hour and a half either way.
Yeah, that would be sick, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So there were a couple other things I wanted to cover before we finish up. It's getting a little bit late. I did want to talk a little bit about my experience. I don't know if I'd call myself a minimalist, but I've tried to do better.
Mm-hmm.
We already covered clothing. One of the other areas that really changed was books. I used to have like 2 bookshelves full of the things. I now have like 10. So
10 bookshelves. Wow.
10 books.
Yeah.
Something
No,
like
do
that.
you just go to the library now, or?
Actually, I have been wanting to renew my library card. I need to do that. I usually just either read them. I got a Kindle, so that's cool. And I've also been getting into Audible lately, which is also sick. Yeah, Audible's a good time.
See, that's something where I'm actually totally okay with them piling up. Like I like books or something that I have a lot of, but I've never like, these are piling up, because like at least there's something where, like, unless they're like, I have a bunch of books that I like don't like, and I'm like, these are terrible,
Yeah, fair.
then I would get rid of them. But if they're just a whole bunch of books I like, then I'll keep them. Because like if I have like piles of clothes around, I'm like, this looks shitty. This is like making me stressed or whatever. But if I have a pile of books around, that doesn't ever like stress me out or look like garbage in my brain. It's just a bunch of books that I
See,
like that they're there, you know.
I do find that it can stress me out, especially if there's a
Mm.
lot of books that I've thought, oh, I really want to read that. I really should read that. Why haven't I read that yet? Aidan, goddammit, there are like dozens of books here that you said you wanted to read, but I can't read them yet. Oh God, there's so much to do.
I can't even read.
Exactly. So yeah, I found that was
Yeah.
stressing me out a bit. And also, I don't know.
Hmm.
There is definitely something to be said for just the aesthetic of a lot of books. And some people just like books.
That's very much my aesthetic. That's the shit that would fill up my van, or that will fill up my van when I live in it.
Oh God.
It's probably gonna happen now, just because I'm like, hey, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Go for it.
Don't even have to drive that well, because you wouldn't need to drive it that many places, just like the weekends.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a bunch of books, and records.
Man, your van's gonna be stuffed.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cool.
It's gonna have like the bottom of it just dragging along the ground. So overloaded.
Riding low.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just power move. Just live in a storage locker and then have an electric bicycle motor.
Yeah, that has crossed my mind before. Would they allow you? Do they check? I don't know.
They definitely do not allow you.
Like, I feel like some people have used them as office spaces before. I think I've seen that online. But
yeah, like they do not want you to live in there, for sure. But
that'd be sick, though.
I don't know. I don't know if they'd check. Like, you could probably get away with it if you just like went in at 7 p.m. each day and then just didn't leave. If you were desperate, you could probably do it.
Yeah,
it would probably not be a very
going in and out every day.
I mean, your life would be like basically getting to and from home would be like playing a Metal Gear Solid level each time. So
yeah, pretty much.
That wouldn't be super relaxing.
Not overly. No, that sounds awful, actually. You don't want a place where you're worried about getting kicked out all the time.
You don't want a place where you have to sneak into your house so that the guards don't see you. That'd be pretty whack.
I mean, it might not be the worst idea for you if you have like way too many books or other things. You could just keep.
Just to have a storage locker.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, having storage lockers is fine. Living in them, unless you're actually homeless without a van, would not recommend.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
But why the f could you afford a storage locker if you're actually homeless?
I have no idea. Yeah.
But
that'd be odd.
Yeah. We're just chock full of such good tidbits of information.
Seriously.
Hey, you shouldn't live in a storage locker.
Pro tips, kids.
See, we started this being
Yeah,
I feel like the expectation started here as like, oh, maybe live in a slightly emptier version of just a middle class household. But then it ended with like, well, would you be technically homeless if you were doing that? If you had like 2 socks and like 1 pair of pants and a sweater, and then like just like a storage locker, would you be technically homeless? I don't know.
Well, I think a storage locker could count as a home if the guards didn't catch you.
Yeah. If you're real slick.
Yeah, you gotta be real sneaky.
Yeah. You can never make any noise. You can never cook anything ever.
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe you could cook something.
There's just
They have like thermal cameras in there
yeah.
checking for people cooking.
A night guy just walks by. Hey, curry masala.
Nice.
What?
Oh yeah, maybe you could bribe them with like food and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be a power move.
That might
Bribe
work.
them with books.
Possibly.
Read to them.
Yeah.
That sounds like an actual book to write. Just a man living in a storage locker who reads to the guards. It'd be
Yeah.
a weird book.
That's probably already a YouTube video. Like, I watched a video the other day that was like someone tried to stay in an airport for as long as possible. They did it for like 4 days.
Oh, there was a dude who famously lived in one. I think it was either in
19
Canada or
years?
China. I don't remember.
I think
But
it was
yeah, he
France.
like
Yeah,
oh, it was France.
I think.
He lived there for like more than 2 weeks, I think.
It was many years. I want to say like
Oh,
a
really?
decade. Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, some airports, like a lot of international airports, I'm like, I totally get how you could like not getting found out part, but the just like being able to live there. I totally get it. Because food, you would just go buy food,
Yeah.
and laundry, you would just have a laundromat. No one would question why you have a couple suitcases around because you're in an airport.
Yeah.
And then, for instance, in Seoul, there was actually a dedicated nap room
Yeah.
that you could actually just sleep in. They had showers there too.
Yeah. That's pretty common, I
So
think. Most airports have
yeah,
dedicated nap rooms.
so sleep, shower,
Yeah.
food, and laundry, you'd be good. So you would just need to find like he probably was at work because he was affording food.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he did it because he was at the airport for it was either a decade or two. He was
What the
stuck
fuck?
there.
Why?
I think it was because it was some issue with the
He
passport
was stuck there.
that he couldn't get on
Wait,
the
what?
plane, but he also couldn't leave the airport to go to the embassy because that would be going into the other country. So he was stuck in the airport with
Did
no
he
way
like
to
tell
leave.
anyone?
I assume, yeah. I don't remember exactly why it didn't get like fixed, but
Maybe his phone was dead. He's like, ah, shit.
I'll just stay here for a few years. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like I live here now. Yeah. Nice. I mean, there's a movie I think where somebody just gets lost in an airport and just lives there for like days for some reason. I don't
That
know.
rings a
Airports
bell,
aren't-
actually. That
aren't
might be based
that
off
big
of the guy.
people.
Yeah. There were 2 other categories that I'll go through real quick. Like, one thing that me and Jess went through quite a bit was kitchen stuff. We got rid of like half of that. Like, we had like drawers overflowing before because when we moved, people just gave us shit, like just boxes of stuff that they didn't want.
Oh, yeah, no, I
and
totally
like
get that.
we didn't even know what some of the things did. So
Mhm.
it's much nicer not having that here. And then also the other tough thing was sentimental items. There's a whole chapter in the tidying things up book on it, like
Yeah.
a lot of toys and stuff like that. But the way I started thinking about it was that I'm keeping things for a version of myself that doesn't exist anymore, and I want the things in my life to support the current version of me.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Just like evolving with the times.
exactly. Yeah.
Also, if anybody's wondering, the movie is based on that guy.
Sick.
It's called The Terminal, starring Tom Hanks.
Oh, sick.
And
Oh man, it's probably good then.
yeah,
Hanks.
it's based on Mehran Karimi Nasseri, who he came from Iran. Wait, what? Wait, he came from Iran. He's a refugee, but then some shit happened where he couldn't like leave or whatever. So he stayed in the airport from 1988 until 2006.
That's what I thought. Yeah. 1988 to 06. That's 18 years. Yeah. Okay, so I was right. I thought it was like
That's
19.
wild.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, if he was a refugee, that explains it.
Well, I mean, not really. Like maybe like a week, sure, but Like,
I don't know, man,
was he,
because it takes a long time for people to handle refugee papers.
like the only reason he left was because he had to go to hospital.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to check out the movie. Honestly, if Tom Hanks is
Mm,
starring it, it's probably good. So I
that
might check
sounds
that out.
so goofy, though. Like, how could
Yeah.
that? Apparently, it is partially comedy, but like, what? 18 years?
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I saw some pictures. It
I
was
don't even
full
know.
on like homeless person carrying around like carts with like bunch of stuff.
So he was like definitely homeless.
Yeah. Like he had all his stuff hoarded into like a couple of seats and whatnot just in the airport.
And everyone's like, yeah, this guy just lives here.
I feel like he became a tourist attraction at one point. Like people just come to see him.
Up, man.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty whack.
You know what? I'd be interested to set that movie as homework for next time. Talk about it and follow up.
You've got a fair point.
Because it sounds good. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but
Just like, what?
I want to
See that
watch
part
it.
where he lived in the airport? What?
Yeah, actually, what else is there gonna be?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's not homework. But
Anyway.
I might check it out.
Yeah. No, it is.
Oh, okay, it
You
is.
better
Then.
do it.
You have
Everyone,
to do
you better do
it. We're
it.
gonna have an in-depth conversation about
Can't
the terminal.
film study of the movie The Terminal, where Tom Hanks is lost in an airport for 18 years.
We're gonna expect your essays to be in 24 hours after the episode goes live.